Samaritans is 116-123. 116-123. And Joe, as you said, talking is so important, isn't it? Joe, are you still there, my lovely?
Can you hear me?
Joe, there you are. There you go.
Hello, Gabby.
We were saying, you know, Samaritans, they do an amazing job. 116-123. It's so important to talk.
It's all you've got. It's really, I think, when in whatever point in the spectrum you are, whatever's going on, talking is all we have, particularly at the moment. I think that with everything that's going on, there's actually never been a better time for people to understand what people with mental health problems, in general, are going through. We're all dealing with something that we can't see and we don't understand at the moment. So, and talking is, everybody started talking more than they ever were in the first place.
You're absolutely right. And that's what's been, there are a lot of very good things. There are a lot of heartbreaking things that have happened through this time. Can I ask you, how did you find out that you had this? When was it discovered?
It was, I found out, it must be about 5 years ago it was. It was just when I stopped drinking. So I stopped drinking. I was a drug addict and I got clean then, and then I lost another 2 years to drinking. I'm being very flippant about both of those things. They were terrible times, but to answer your question, it was quite soon after that. I was lucky enough to be in therapy, and I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, and common is the wrong word to use. There are quite a lot of people living with it, as I've found out, sort of in talking about it. I think it's the thing with personality disorders is that nobody really wants to talk about personality disorders, because to say that you've got something wrong with your personality calls into question who you are as a human being, and I think that is something that people don't want to freely open up about, because you say I've got a personality disorder, then you think, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, but it's because it's the worry of people judge too much, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, ignorance is only a choice if if you've been told another way of looking at something. So I'm happy to talk about the things that my brain does, even the worst things. I didn't order the disorder off of Amazon. It's not my choice, but it is my problem. And there are things that I have done that I wouldn't have done if I didn't have the personality disorder. But I take responsibility for the fact that I've got BPD, because if I don't take responsibility for BPD, then it allows me to do all of those bad things again. So. And I have to start letting go of these things.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
You can't let go of anything if you don't pick it up first. No. So I'm just picking up what I can.
What about people's reaction to you? I'm talking family. Before you came public with this, family and friends, and just people who, the person that found you at the bridge when you thought you were going to end it all. What's people's reaction to you been like?
I think we're sort of, particularly when we were going through it as a family, and at that time, I was completely supported by people around me, through work, from that first time that I was going through it all, on the bridge, and that time in my life, through all of my jobs, and to my life now, and with the people that I speak to online and things, I've always been supported. But I think that it's odd, because if you are suicidal to the point where you're thinking about actually doing it, you think that everybody is going to be better off without you. Something that I'm very passionate about is sort of trying to explain why I don't see suicide as a selfish thing to do. I think it's if somebody does take their own life, they leave a lot of questions, and they're not here to answer them, obviously. So I think that in order to try and answer some of those, I try and explain that when I was stood there, I wasn't thinking I'm going to kill myself for me. It's because I thought the people that I loved, I was making their life worse because I was in it. So it wasn't a case of I was trying to take myself out of the equation because they would have a better life because I was the bad thing. It never ever occurred to me that my family might be pleased that I was still alive. The only person that was angry I was still alive at that time was me.
And thank goodness that you got through this. And Joe, the more you talk about this, and the more that you open up, because there will be people who are listening right now who will be feeling this, and there will be people, as you say, through isolation, where they've always felt isolated, but even more so now.
Yes.
Can you just give them some advice? Is it just talk? Is that the simple thing?
It's talk and wait. Waiting is and it's a really easy word to say, but sometimes you have to. Life for me is just a stack of moments, and you can only ever see one at a time. In some moments, I think about killing myself. I might think about killing myself in the next one, but if I just keep waiting, at some point there is going to be a moment where I stop thinking about killing myself. So if anybody is thinking about suicide or the constant crushing worry that comes with life at the moment, we've just got to wait, because if you wait, something will change. It's really easy to say, but I've been waiting for 8 years, and it does take it out of you. But I'm still here, and pick up the phone if you can, and if you can't, please just wait, because you will feel something else at some point.
I'm just going to give that number again. Samaritans is 116123. That's 116123. Joe, thank you. But also thank you because you've been in Hollyoaks, of course, we've seen you in. I saw you on stage in Spamalot. We'll just mention, of course, as well, your dad, who I've known for many years, Joe Pasquale.
Yes.
Please send him our love. But also
of course,
the fact that you were bringing incredible joy to us on social media through your dancing. What is the next dance going to be, please?
I can exclusively reveal to you, Gabby, that it will be contemporary.
Fabulous.
And yeah, that will be coming soon at some point. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for letting me talk sort of as openly as you have done. That's it really does mean a lot to me. So thank you for that, Gabby.
Well, it means the world to me that you were still here and you were able to share all of this with us and carry on dancing as wonderfully as you do, because I can't thank you enough for it. It's a complete joy, as are you, Joe. Thank you.
BBC Sounds.